What up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Shinobi Squad Podcast. I'm your guest host, Avatar Aang.
And I'm Shana Mostella.
And real quick, I'm sure you guys are sitting there wondering, why do I have an arrow painted on my head? Well, this weekend, Avatar: The Last Airbender has hit Netflix, so make sure y'all watch that. It's like the greatest show of all time.
Yes.
I was late to watch it, but Shauna put me on it all those years ago, and I was so excited when it finally came back to Netflix. In honor of Avatar Aang's return to Netflix, I was Avatar Aang this week. I was shooting a lot of TikTok videos as well, so yeah, make sure you look for me on TikTok.
Plug
indeed. Oh, and Shauna's on TikTok too. She all trying to be modest over there.
No, I'm on TikTok too. I do fashion. I do all kinds of things. So just give me a follow if you like TikTok.
Back to the podcast. Hashtag not sponsored. Netflix didn't pay a shit to promote Avatar.
Even though they should, because we've seen all of Avatar since day one. Well, I've seen it since day one, and I've been promoting the shit out of it for years.
Oh, maybe Nickelodeon owes us money.
Yeah,
man.
they do. I've been promoting the shit out of Avatar.
Yeah, not Netflix. Nickelodeon owes people money because people have been doing a great job
Yep.
promoting the hell out of the return of Avatar.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to the Shinobi Squad podcast. We're going to talk about room parties at conventions.
Yes.
Especially because this weekend was supposed to be Anime Central. ASIN, for those who are from Chicago or the Midwest in general, ASIN is a big must-go-to con.
Yes.
ASIN is also known for some super lit room parties.
Those were the best that I've ever been to in my day,
So since we can't be there, we can just reminisce on room parties that we've been to, the good and the bad. So we'll get into all that. Anime conventions, Comic-Cons, they all have room parties of some sort. Anime conventions, Comic-Cons, they all have room parties. People need stuff to do after hours. I know for a lot of people that don't go to parties normally find it kind of taboo. That's why I want to talk about it in this podcast. It's definitely an experience I don't think any cosplayer or a con attendee should really miss out on just because of some misinformation. Some are really fun. Some are just wild and crazy and exciting. Some are nice and very intimate, but yet there are still some that are very dangerous that you shouldn't go to. I mean, for the most part, a lot of room parties are harmless. They're fun. You get to meet new people. That's why I encourage people to go to them. I know like a lot of people are just like, I don't want to go to room parties because I don't want to drink. I don't want to do that or this. But you don't have to do anything you don't want to, first off. If you just refuse to go, then you're kind of missing out on a big part of the con experience. We'll start by talking about just the innocent, fun ones. When I say room party, it doesn't automatically mean there's 20 people in your hotel room. It could be something as intimate as like 5 or 6 people. Someone might just invite you up to their room, be like, hey, me and my roomies are hanging out. You want to come through? Doesn't mean they're drinking or doing drugs or stupid shit like that. Not saying getting drunk is stupid, but anyways, those are perfectly innocent. They're nice and intimate. You go with a friend that invited you, and you end up making a couple new friends. Like, those are nice experiences. I've made a lot of friends through room parties. Sometimes you may only know someone through social media. You may follow them or whatever. Then you catch them at a room party, and that's your chance to really talk to someone. Sometimes you end up really vibing, and you're like, oh, this person's really awesome. I would like to be a real-life friend with this person. Or it's the exact opposite. You meet this social media person, and they're complete douches. And then you're like, oh, well, I guess I'm not going to follow you anymore because you are a piece of trash.
Yeah, it's nice to go to these low-key, close-knit parties where you know people, there's familiar faces, and you can just sit there and talk with people. It's just nice to not be on the con floor, but you're still in cosplay in this party. You're still doing something within cosplay without just being in your room, drinking by yourself and talking to yourself.
Yeah. It's a nice way to just relax, but still experience the con.
Yeah.
When you're at the con, like, everyone is so busy, or you're in cosplay, you're trying to get to a shoot, you're just trying to get your pictures taken, or you are getting your pictures taken and your friends kind of see you and they don't want to interrupt you.
Right.
And you're looking at your real life friends and you're like, oh, hi, but you feel bad.
And in my case, I tend to do a lot of heavy, or I tend to have a lot of heavy props with me and like a lot of heavy armor, by the time I see somebody that I know, I'm already sweating. I'm already hot. I don't feel like talking to people that I actually know. It's one thing to see someone in passing or when people try to take your pictures. Like it's one thing about that, but like you want to talk to your friends and you want to have an intimate conversation with somebody, but not when you're covered in head to toe with armor and got big props on you.
Yeah, and
it's a mess.
Yeah, sometimes even if you do stop and talk to your friends, people see you in cosplay and you keep getting interrupted.
Right. It's like it's like you're in the battle zone, you know?
Can I take your picture? Can I take your picture? Can I take your picture? And then you and your friends are just like, so how's the convoy? Wait. Pose.
Yeah.
And the convoy. Wait, hold on. Pose. And you're just talk, pose, you know? So yeah.
It gets annoying and you feel bad for your friends who are there just to see you.
Right, I know. I just feel so bad for them. And then they'll message you later like, oh, it was nice seeing you. I guess I'll see you next year.
Next year.
And then, like.
That sucks.
I've heard that so many times. Like, oh, I saw you, but I didn't want to interrupt you. And you just feel so bad.
Yeah.
I used to be all about the con floor. I just want to be on the floor. I want to see people. I want to get my picture taken. I want to meet people. I want to take other people's picture. Like, that was my whole life. But then I started realizing how many people that were my actual friends didn't get to see me.
Right.
And I couldn't figure out how to see them until I started going to these intimate room parties.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one positive of going to these room parties. You know, these nice little small gatherings.
Right.
It's a nice getaway.
You're not stopped by a million photographers because fortunately, but unfortunately at the same time, since cosplay has become so popular, everybody wants a picture. Yep. Everybody wants to do this whole thing. So the smaller room parties that are your close friends and everything, that's one thing. But these bigger, unofficial kind of parties that we get invited to, they're a whole nother beast. You gotta, even though you know the people that are running the party sometimes, they still make you wait in line to get into this room party. They check your ID to make sure you're legit. There's a whole thing. There's like a bunch of rules in this room party.
Let's call this the organized party.
Yeah.
A good example of that is one of my friends from YomaCon. For a couple years in a row, he used to throw a party. It was super official. He had a event page on Facebook every year, guest list. And he actually had staff members. I give it up to him. He had people working his party. There was people checking IDs, making sure underage people didn't get in. They had bartenders that would check ID as well. They had a DJ. It was legit.
Yeah.
I don't know how he got away with it all these years because he had a lot of people the one year we went.
Oh, yeah. It was huge.
But yet, it worked. Let me just give you like the breakdown of this party. You go on Facebook, you get the invite, then you have to contact whoever the day of. You get the room number, then you show up. They actually check your IDs properly, and they actually try to keep track of capacity. As Shana stated, we had to wait in line because though we were his friends, he was just like, dude, it's full. Like, I can't let you in. And as much as I was pissed off at the time, I'm like, dude, like, I'm your real friend. Like, I know you in real life. Like, I know what you look like outside of that cosplay. Like, come on, bro. But he was being professional. He's like, I can't let you in because it's full.
Right.
I respected his door people. Even though some of them like, dude, I know you, Renji, but I can't let you in. I think that year I was actually performing at YomaCon too. I was like, come on, man. Y'all just saw me perform during the masquerade. They're like, sorry, we got rules. As annoying as it was, much respect to them for doing their job. Everyone held their ground.
Right.
So we sitting here outside like dumbasses because we had brought two of our friends, I believe, and we're just like, nah, dude, don't worry, we gotta wait in line. I got this. You know, we trying to be all bougie, like, yeah, we got the hookup. Nope, our dumbasses all had to wait outside for like 30
from outside
minutes.
The club.
Couldn't even get in. We just outside hating, looking stupid. Well, I should say I was looking stupid because I was the one talking the big guy. Like, I know this guy, man. We good. He gonna let us in. Nope. He did not let me in. So, anyways, we get in there. They got a DJ playing music. They got all the furniture moved, like all the breakables were gone. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it was nice.
It was nice. They had booked a big suite, so they shoved everything in the room.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell they did with the bed, but
who knows? They were professional about this.
Whatever they did, they made it work. There was room for like 40 people in there.
Oh, yeah.
And then on top of that, he had an open bar. But he was the bartender. Like, he was the final security checkpoint in case some underage people got in somehow. He checked their IDs at the bar. I was like, Hand claps for you, man. Good.
And that's great. That's going the extra mile. I love that so much.
He made sure everyone was legal and safe to party. During that party, I think someone got out of hand, and he had his guys remove them. Like, he got security. He got security throwing motherfuckers out of the room party. Damn.
That was legit. That was like the most legit party I've ever been to.
Yeah, it was. When it got too loud, the DJ made an announcement. The people respected it.
Yeah.
He took control of his party. And I'm like, okay, this is how he's been able to do this year after year. Like, the whole suite was jam-packed.
Oh, yeah.
People was dancing, having a great time.
But it was still a good time. No matter how many people were in there, we still had a great time.
Yeah, it was. It was organized. They had free drinks, which I was very surprised of.
Yeah, but we still tipped our bartender.
And then it got to a certain time. He's like, okay, party's over. Made everybody leave.
And everybody left in single file lines.
Very respectful.
I was like, I've never seen a room party like this.
Yeah, very organized.
Yep.
You don't want to miss out on something like that.
Right.
If I was still the anti-party me from back in the day, I would have never got to be there and have a good time. It was on Friday night of the con, I believe. It's like there was nothing really going on. This was when Youmacon didn't really have like the Friday night dance or whatever. So Friday nights, you kind of had like nothing to do. And this was a great relief. Like, oh, there's something to do. Let's go do it.
And that's how these room parties really do save a lot of people's lives, because you're done with the con for the day, but then you're still awake. There's nothing else to do. And some of those conventions, they don't have things going on Fridays, like you just said. So then you're kind of just in your room by yourself, just whatever,
On that note, Comic cons in general, like a lot of my peers only go to anime conventions. We're used to the convention being open 24 hours, something always happening, game room, viewing rooms and stuff like that. But comic conventions and gaming conventions, they end at like 7, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
They don't have any late night activities. So you either go home, go to your hotel room, or you have to leave and go to some kind of like bar, club after party and pay more money.
Yeah.
These room parties save you from all that. Shana and I have been to so many Comic Cons out here in California where we have left at 7 p.m. I know some of you anime con folks out there are just like, 7 p.m.? Why the hell would you leave so early?
Right.
Because there ain't shit to do.
Yeah.
They kick you out. Like, you can't just linger there. You can't hang out. Once they're done with the event, security makes you leave.
Right.
You can go linger at your hotel.
And some of these comic conventions are held in these convention centers that don't have anything around them, like the one at the McCormick Center in Chicago.
Yeah.
That one had nowhere else to go, like legit, like there's nothing around there for you to go and enjoy. So there's a reason why some of these things end at a decent time, I guess. You know?
Or the convention centers are near sketchy neighborhoods.
Oh, yeah.
Once this convention is done, you had better be in your hotel or be home.
Yeah.
You can't be wandering out the streets.
The best one I can think of is San Diego Comic-Con, where they closed down the entire Gaslamp district.
Yeah.
Where there's a lot of clubs and different things like restaurants that you can go to after.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of club discounts where you go in there and if you're dressed in cosplay, they let you in for free. So there's stuff like that.
Yeah,
but a lot of these Comic Cons don't have a lot going on afterwards.
Yeah. San Diego Comic-Con is rare in that fact. The whole city embraces the con, so they shut down their downtown area.
Yeah.
All the businesses nearby want to get a piece of this Comic-Con money. A lot of these other comic conventions do not do the same.
No.
Like C2E2 in Chicago.
Yeah.
The McCormick Center, as you said. I threw a C2E2 after party at the Shrine. The Shrine is mostly a urban hip-hop R&B club. There's been some violence there as well. So sometimes people that know that don't want to go. The other option for C2E2, there's like a rock bar. It's a big place. It's kind of like a super dive bar.
Right.
They got multiple levels, but no offense, but it just looks like shit.
And convention goers don't know about these things.
I don't want to go there either.
Yeah.
But besides that, you're stuck at the hotel.
Right.
For a con like that. You go anywhere else, you're kind of in the hood. From there, hotel parties might just save your night, and it might just save your life, depending on what city you're in.
Especially the Youmacon.
Youmacon,
in
Detroit, Chicago, LA. These big city cons, sometimes you just need to stay your ass in the hotel or at the convention center.
Oh, yeah.
The next type of party I want to talk about is the open door party. If you go to enough cons, wander through the hallways of the hotel, you'll notice some people will have their door jammed open.
Yeah.
Some people will go as far as having a sign that says, "Come in."
Mm-hmm.
These are the open door parties. These are just parties that pretty much don't care who shows up.
Right.
Doors open. Come on in, right? Some are cool. Some are lame.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what you get. You know, it's an open door party. You get what you get. Can't knock these people for trying.
Right.
I've walked into some where it's just two dudes playing Magic. I don't know how to play Magic. Not for me. So I left.
Mm-hmm.
Though risky and iffy, I do encourage you with a friend to at least explore it.
Right.
Sometimes you do find some jewels. Sometimes you just might get some free food and snacks. I went to one party that was open door. They had all kinds of goodies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they had cupcakes and candy.
Oh, I do remember that. And I saw you at some point of the night. I'm like, you had a whole armful of stuff.
Yep.
I'm just like, where did you get all of that from?
Yep.
I went to a party and they gave me cool stuff. And I'm like, what?
Yep. Sometimes you luck out. So I went with a friend and we both came with armfuls of snacks. I've walked into an open door party and they had pizza. I got there just in time where the pizza arrived. I got to have free pizza. I mean, if the pizza had been sitting there, like I would have been kind of sketchy, but I was there at the right time and the pizza just got delivered. They're like, "Who wants some pizza?" I was like, "Ooh, me. Ooh, me."
That's awesome.
Yeah, so because it's open door, you never know who's going to show up.
Yeah, I was at this one party and one of my friends showed up. I knew that he had just came back from the military. I knew that he didn't have a good time there and I knew that he had issues with it. And I noticed him talking to one of my other friends who was also in the military at the time, and they were trying to hash things out and talk about it. And like my other friend was trying to work it through with this person. We'll call him Peter for the sake of this video. I had noticed them talking for a long time. So then I went over to them and asked them what was wrong, because I could see that Peter was getting a little uncomfortable and a little emotional. So I just wanted to make sure everything was okay. So then my friend just kind of left and was like, "Okay, you talk to him."
He's your problem now.
Yeah. Turns out he really just didn't have all of his shit straight, you know? Like, he just wanted to talk to somebody, anybody. So I ended up talking to Peter about his military experience. We ended up leaving the party because he was just getting a little bit too emotional for the party, and he was kind of bringing down the mood. Because then everybody else noticed, and I'm like, we need to leave.
Like everyone just looking like, who's this dude crying in the corner? Like, we all having a good time eating pizza.
Exactly.
How do you cry around free pizza?
It just became a little bit inappropriate in that way. So we kind of exited the party. And I went to talk to him outside in the parking lot of the hotel we were staying
You
at.
went all the way to the parking lot?
Yeah, because this kid was just, I think he was on his way out. Then we ended up talking about it for a whole extra hour and a half, whatever it was. It seemed like a long time. He was just spilling his heart the entire time. And I tried to work it out, and I tried to talk to him, but it just didn't seem to resolve anything. Yeah. And I'm just like, dude, I need to go back to the party.
Yeah, right? It's like, you want to be his friend, but he's not only killing the vibe of the party, now he's killing your vibe on a personal level.
Yeah, he already killed someone else's vibe for a whole couple of hours in the party, and now he's killing mine outside of the party for another hour and a half. So it's like, okay, enough is enough. Like, I want to help you, but we've been talking about this for 3 hours now.
Yeah.
Altogether.
It's that moral dilemma. Like, you want to be there for him, but you're like, dude.
It's a party.
I'm at this con. I'm at this party. I'm trying to, like, distract myself from my real world issues as well. Like, can we talk about this another time?
Because I get that people have problems. I get that they see you and they want to talk about things because they see you, but it's just
a time and a place.
There's a time and a place.
Yeah, like, you should be here trying to enjoy yourself.
Right. And no matter what I said, no matter what my other friends said to him, it just didn't seem to resolve anything. Yeah. So at some point, it's like, dude, I gotta go.
It's like, dude, all right. At this point, here's Dr. Phil's hotline number.
Right.
Call him and get on the show. It's like, I love you, but bro, like, I have my own issues I'm trying to not think about right now.
Right.
And you are making me think about my issues. Yeah. I mean, there's only so much you could do. Like, That's the worst. Not to be insensitive, but if you're having those kind of issues, maybe you should call up some of your boys outside of the
Yeah.
con and actually have a real talk or get some professional help.
Because obviously, if you're at this place, you're at a convention,
Yeah.
you want to get your mind off of
Yeah.
things. So why are you talking to people about heavy stuff during
Yeah.
a convention? On top of that, during a party.
You're at this con. Make the best of it.
Yeah.
Just enjoy this moment. Sometimes that's all you need. It's just a step away for a day or two.
Especially if you spent money to be there. Why would
Exactly.
you want to waste that?
Yeah, these open door parties, you never know who's going to show up and what you're going to get. Right?
Exactly.
Let me transition to another party that was also open door. Well, kind of. The door wasn't physically open, but the people hosting the party said invite whoever you wanted. A couple of my friends got there before I did. They sent me the text. Party seemed cool, seemed legit at first. And then, wait, hold up. This isn't even my story to really tell. I was more a character in the sequel of the story. So let me throw it to Shana since this whole incident started with her.
So this party, I had heard that somebody was going to be there that I wanted to confront because I forgot about this earlier, but there was somebody online who didn't quite like one of my pictures and she was talking mess. I don't want to swear on the podcast, but she was talking a lot of mess. So then I heard that because it was an open party, I heard that she was going to be there because I had seen her on the con floor earlier that day and she had more mess to say. So I'm like, I rolled up to this party ready to get down. I was ready to get into some kind of love and hip hop kind of fight. I was ready. I got my Jocelyn Hernandez on once again. And I heard that she was going to be there. So I wanted to pull up, as they say, to this party.
All right.
That was my initial thought process in this whole thing. This was my initial thing when I went to this party. And Renji was there with me, but also one of his good friends was there at the party. And he brought his girlfriend, who was also a mutual friend of mine. And us girls were at the party looking fly, doing our thing. And, you know, we're just sitting there talking, having drinks. And this guy comes over. And I noticed there's like a lot of girls sitting around us at the time. And he comes over like, oh, yeah, this is my friend's party. And now all of you girls here in this area, you're my girls now. You're with me. You're with me. And he was making a whole big stink about it. I'm like, dude, I don't even know you. Like, who are you? I don't know you or your friend.
What kind of flex is that? This is my friend's party?
Yeah.
That's like standing by your boy's car like, this is my friend's car.
I distinctly remember that because I'm like, I don't know anyone here. I just came because there was an open invitation. Like, who are you to tell us what to do and what we're supposed to be doing in this party? So he just comes over trying to like put his hands on everybody. He was trying to get close. And me and my friend were looking at each other like, oh, hell no. We were like flexing our muzzles. We're like, touch me, I dare you. Put your hands on me, I dare you.
Yeah.
And then her boyfriend, your mutual friend, came over and he was like this buffer dude. He was like the stern, I don't play with you kind of thing. He had that persona about him already. So then when he came over to us, he looked at this dude up and down and was like, what did he just say?
Oh, yeah. Like,
what did he just say to you?
I remember that because then I walked over like, is everything cool?
Yeah.
Is everything cool? And then we kind of had like this group huddle, right?
Yeah.
And then Shauna and my friend's girlfriend explained to us the situation. Like, hey, you know.
I overheard this dude talking about these girls, my girlfriend, your girlfriend, is his girls now? And he had a problem with that.
Oh, yeah. Like, my boy was not playing. And then, like, I got kind of heated because not only was I there with Shauna and my best friend's girl, a couple of my other lady friends were there, too. And they was all getting disrespected. And then my boy was like, what we gonna do, Renji? And he had that crazy look in his eye because this dude's straight up killer. Like, he has a past that he refuses to tell me about.
Oh, yeah.
But when he gets triggered, you see that killer instinct in his eye. I'm just like, oh, shit.
We already knew it was on. I was already ready because I'm like, oh, hold up. Because I ain't about to be touched or owned by any person in this party.
But, you know, my boy's old school Bible justice kind of, you know, he believes in the man's got to stand up for any woman being disrespected in the room. His woman or not. If a woman's being disrespected, he will stab a motherfucker for that woman.
Especially since none of us girls were quick to follow this unknown dude.
Yeah.
Nobody was digging that shit.
Yeah, so like he had the craze in his eye. He said, "What we gonna do, Renji?" And then he's sizing them up. He's like, "Okay, I'm gonna get the 2 on the right. You can have the one on the left." I was like, "Wait a minute. You gonna take 2?"
It was like rush hour. You go this way, I go that way.
I was like, first off, you call me a bitch saying I can't take 2? Why you gotta take 2? Why I gotta get the little one on the left? Especially during that time, a couple people at that party knew who I was.
Yeah.
They noticed us having this meeting, and these dudes were still staring at us, weren't they?
Yo, yeah. They were ready for the get down. They didn't know what was going on.
They were still sizing us up. I'm just like, shit.
Yeah.
At that point, there was more of us than them, but unfortunately, the only 2 males in my group were me and my best friend.
Yeah.
Not saying Shana and his girlfriend couldn't get down, because his girlfriend was a scrappy ass bitch, to say the least.
Yeah.
Like Shana and her could have handled these 2 lames or 3 lames on their own, but
I was already there for a fight.
Exactly.
So that was my initial thing. So when this other person came along and was like ready for the get down as well, I'm like, oh, you can line up behind this person that I came here for.
Yeah, Shana was already about to beat another bitch's ass, and she's like, well, you know what? It's my night to beat bitches' asses. So if y'all bitches want to get in line.
I was ready.
So we all sitting there like trying to figure out who we going to fight first. Like Shana already said she was already there to fight some other bitch.
Yeah.
Now these 2 bitches get involved. Now me and my boy like trying to figure it out. But then my other friend saw this about to go down because my boy was already making his way over there. Before we even broke huddle, he started walking over there like, hey. I was like, oh, shit.
It's going
Wait.
down. It was like in slow motion.
No.
Wait.
like, how did we lose track of him? Because, like, last time I checked on him, we was talking, this dude pulled out a knife from somewhere. I'm like, where'd you get that knife?
How did you get that in here, first of all?
I mean, it was a sweet, so maybe he got, like, the butter knife out the kitchen. But I know he didn't show up at that party with a knife. Next thing I know, he had one. And, like, he was making his way over to them dudes.
Oh, shit.
I'm just like, no. But then my other friends see us, and they're like, yo, Renji, stop. And, like, I'm trying to grab my friend. These girls are grabbing me. And they're like, dude, stop. We see this crazy look in your eye. Like, y'all all got to calm down. Mm-hmm. There was 4 of them, so then one of them break off and go grab my boy, and then they're like, these guys are a bunch of freaking nobodies. You're supposed to perform at this con. You're a guest. How's it gonna look on Monday's headlines? Fan service Renji gets in a fight at a room party. So they're trying to talk me out of it. Like, I'm super heated. My friend's just restrained by one of their friends, and they're trying to pull us back together. And now my friend is pissed because I guess he exchanged some words. I'm gonna mess this guy up. Just let me have him. Renji, just say the word. Just say the word. And then he's going crazy. These people are trying to talk to me.
So then everybody's being restrained at this point, but I'm still looking for the girl I initially came here for. So I remember about her. I forgot about her the entire time when these dudes started talking mess about us. And then I'm looking for the girl like, oh, wait, hold up. Where's this girl that was talking shit about me before? I'm here for you. And it was a whole mess.
It was a whole ordeal. It's like my poor friends are trying to restrain us, and then Shauna's like sneaking off in the corner. And then they're like, oh, shit, someone go get Shana. And it's just,
I disappeared. I don't even know where I went. I was just looking for somebody.
It was just a whole ordeal. And, like, they're trying to calm us down. They're chasing after Shana. My boy's trying to sharpen his butter knife, talking shit to me. Like, oh, man, this dude up. Luckily, that was probably the only time where the cops breaking up the room party was a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, everyone was lit. Everyone was angry. These dudes kept provoking us. Like, oh, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Like I said, my friend had said some words, so they knew we was triggered.
Yeah.
So they were taunting us, thinking their friends were gonna back them up.
Mm-hmm. It was a mess.
It was a mess. Next thing we know, someone comes in. They're like, hey, the cops are coming to break up this room party. So we sitting there like, oh, shit, we ain't trying to get arrested. So the cops are making their way in there. So my friends, bless these girls' hearts, like they pulled us all out of there. They're like, all you drunk, angry bitches need to leave with us right now. Renji, that means you, Shana, come with me right now. So
everybody grab a hand.
Pretty much. So there was enough of them to pull all of us out.
Yeah, we were a chain of people just like.
Hand by hand. looking like the end scene of Us. Everyone just holding
Right.
hands,
Exactly.
leaving that party. Like,
Yeah, I'm glad that they were there. I'm so glad that they were there.
Yeah, that's why you shouldn't go to room parties alone, especially if you drink, because you get a little emotional and a little irrational.
I had lost my damn mind at that party. I was just ready for anything.
Oh yeah, because I
was
remember
ready.
that bitch was talking shit about you months prior.
Oh yeah, it was due time for her to get hers that was coming for her.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I was there for her.
Oh yeah.
Signed, still delivered. I was there.
Oh yeah, that's the thing that some of these people don't understand. Like, you want to talk shit about someone that's in your community.
Oh, you gonna slip up one time?
At some point.
You gonna slip up?
At some point, people are gonna roll up on you.
Oh yeah.
It started over something petty. I think because you did a photo shoot in some like Batman pajamas, like some booty shorts and a tank top that she had wore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a bunch of friends tagged her like, "Oh, look at this bitch trying to be you."
But again, I had seen her at that same convention and she was still talking shit about me for no reason. I heard her talking shit on the way up the escalator. If I wasn't already on my way somewhere else, I would have climbed up that escalator and grabbed it. But you know what? I think I was good. I think I was poised and perfected.
Oh yeah, I think she conveniently slipped away.
Oh yeah,
because she was there.
She saw
when
me
we
acting a
walked in.
fool.
Yeah, she was there when we got in. But when we all left, she was conveniently long gone before.
Oh yeah,
then.
because she saw me starting up over something else. She saw what she was getting herself into because she knew it was me. We locked eyes at some point at the party, and yeah, conveniently for her, she escaped.
Yeah, and long story short about her. A year or two later, she got knocked up, and she still ain't doing shit with her life. And now she raising a baby and hates her life. So that's the karma you get, bitch. Enjoy that baby that you didn't want to have. Enjoy your shitty life. Children are a blessing, they say, when you want them. But
When
you
you want
clearly
them.
didn't want them based on your social media stats where you complain about your child week after week. So that's what you get for being a do-nothing bitch and being with the can't pull out kind of guy.
But I'm glad we didn't do anything because these people, like you said earlier, or like your friends had said,
Yeah.
are just nobody people.
Yeah,
It wouldn't have mattered.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
It
Because
really isn't.
you or me or any of us whooping their ass would have been clout points for them.
Yeah.
As petty as some people are, they will use that for a bragging. Oh yeah, I got in a fight with Renji. Give me attention. Like, you want to boast about getting your ass whooped?
Yeah. It's better
Come
to know
on.
when to walk away.
Yeah, it was. It was a good situation to walk away from. And I'm glad my friends took the time to check me.
Yep.
Because I was a guest that year, and that would have looked totally bad. 'Cause
Yeah.
I didn't even perform yet, so
Yeah.
I would have had to perform like the next day, and that would have not been well.
Don't mess up your blessings, kids.
No, don't. Open door room parties, never know what you're gonna get. Worth checking out with friends.
Oh, yeah.
That's the lesson to take away from that story.
And if you're talking shit about somebody on social media, don't show up to those kind of parties because you never know who is going to see you show up to those parties.
Good lesson as well. I didn't even think about that.
If you're talking shit about somebody, especially if they're known on social media, do not show up just on your own, especially because you don't know who's going to show up and tell you about yourself, for example.
Yep. Oh, good lesson. So if you a punk ass troll just talking shit, don't roll up at these open door parties because there may not be anyone there to protect you.
Exactly.
And for this case, for that bitch, and these dudes thinking they was the shit, bragging about this is my friend's party. I'm still not over that. Like how you gonna brag
it wasn't
about
even his party. It was his friend's party that he wasn't even really invited to either.
how you gonna brag about your friend's shit who wasn't even there? Oh, come on. Like,
It's my friend's party, so you guys are my girls.
for those that remember TLC and the song No Scrubs, this is what they're talking about. Dudes hollering at you from the passenger side of their best friend's ride. That ain't even your car.
You don't even have gas money.
Yeah, you just riding along. Get the hell out of here. Joe lame ass. Never brag about other people's shit.
No.
You just look stupid.
Never ride someone's coattails.
Mm-mm.
And one last note about these open invitation kind of parties. Ask your friends if they're going to be at the same party, who else is going to be there? Because you never know what kind of problematic person is going to show up to these parties. just like our examples earlier, you don't know who's going to potentially affect you in the future at these parties that you go to. Because you never know how you're going to be triggered. You don't know how they're going to be triggered.
That was a great segue to what I was thinking about. I remember I was at a villa party at Colossal Con. One of my friends invited me. That was the year I was also a guest. I was supposed to be performing. Colossal Con's known for its parties. I get there. This villa is packed with just people.
Oh, yeah. It was wild.
Yeah.
Don't even say hype. By the time we got there, that was already evolving into something bigger than what it was supposed to be.
Yeah. But wild is definitely a good word.
Let me explain how big this villa was. First of all, this villa had an upstairs and a downstairs. The upstairs were all the guest rooms.
Yeah.
The downstairs was a kitchen. It was a full kitchen.
Yeah.
It was just a really big villa. There was an outdoor patio.
They had like a living room with I forgot was it a pool table or a foosball table?
And plus there was just a big open space.
Yeah, and just outside the sliding patio door, there was like a volleyball net.
It was wild.
Oh yeah, it was. I didn't even mean to look, but I was just walking around checking out the party. I poked my head in the hot tub room, not knowing it was a hot tub room, but yeah, there was like half a dozen people just half naked in bras and panties, and
a couple of our friends were in the hot tub making out. We're like
okay. So,
it was wild.
We're like, okay, it's a wild party.
It was MTV after hours, kind of wild.
When you go to a room party, you can tell when you can drink the alcohol or eat the food because it's usually laid out on a table.
Right.
But this stuff was in the fridge and stuff like that, so I made sure not to touch it.
Right.
We only stayed there for an hour because just something didn't feel right, you know?
Yeah.
Fast forward to after the con on Monday, right? I'm on the ClassiCon forum. This is the same year that I was a guest there, and this was the same year that I was a finalist in a big cosplay contest. People were sharing me in the forum to gather votes for this contest. And then next thing I know, there's a whole thread about me at that ClassiCon party. Some bitch is saying all this shit about me and my friends came and stole all their alcohol. We came to the party uninvited, helped ourselves to everyone's alcohol, and then stole all the bottles and left.
Yeah.
She specifically named off her bottle, Bacardi Dragon Fruit Rum. She's like, I bought a brand new bottle. I didn't even get to open it, and Renji and his friends stole it. I'm sitting there like, bitch, are you serious? First, we were invited. Next, we didn't even drink anyone's alcohol. We made it clear that we weren't drinking anything. We didn't have no cups in our hands. We didn't do anything. We didn't even partake in much things besides talking to a couple of our friends and left. Little did we know there was people plotting against us. And this forum thread perfectly showed that. And then I'm reading all the shit she's complaining about. I remember what that refrigerator full of alcohol looked like.
Yeah, I remember too. It was nothing but $10 bottles of vodka and maybe $12 bottles of rum.
Exactly.
In the entire refrigerator.
Exactly. And people that know Sean and I, we don't drink vodka or rum.
Yeah. We drink tequila.
Yeah, exactly. Especially, we don't drink that cheap shit, too. We don't drink that, let's get high school drunk $10 bottle of Svedka vodka.
And even if I go to a room party and all they have is vodka, I will not touch it because I know how vodka makes me feel. I can't mess with that at all. It makes me sick. Yeah. And anything that isn't tequila, basically, I don't mess with. I don't touch it. If I go to a room party and that's all you have, I don't touch it. Trust me, because I don't want to be waking up in the middle of the night sick.
Yeah. We're the type of people that bring our own alcohol to parties anyway because we don't want to, like, take people's stuff. You know, we know some cosplayers are broke, you know, so we're going to bring our own stuff.
Yeah.
That's the safest way to do room parties. Bring your own alcohol, only drink your own alcohol.
Yeah.
And then you don't want to be a burden to someone else and drink all their shit. Don't be one of these bum-ass otaku who just go to people's rooms to try to leech off their food and alcohol.
And that's an important note to make. We only drink tequila, and maybe if there's whiskey, maybe, but
occasionally,
occasionally, but I personally don't mess with anything but tequila. And if that's all you have, then chances are I'll probably stay there for maybe like 20 minutes and leave because I'm just like that. That's just me. So for this person to be like, you stole our bottle of rum and what? No, because I wouldn't have drank that shit because I know how rum makes me
Exactly.
feel. It makes me feel sick.
It's
So I'm
like,
not going to drink it.
like, I felt insulted. My friend told me each person he was rooming with. I'm like, bitch, I make more money than all of you combined in my regular day job.
And if we did drink it, we can give you the money.
Exactly.
It was $10.
I don't need to be stealing your $10 bottle of vodka when I make more money than all of you combined. Like,
And
I'm
that's
good.
just the truth. That's just the truth. It's like, if you really thought that I stole something, I will be the first one to be like, or if I even drank it, I would be the first one to be like, hey, I'll buy you another one. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
Let's just kumbaya this shit and just go on with the party.
Oh, yeah, but this girl just went on a whole hate train.
I will never fight you for $10 worth of something.
Exactly.
Come on.
With that said, let me mention this because I wanted to say this earlier, but let's quickly talk about room party etiquette. Number 1, don't show up expecting to eat and drink people's shit. If you're a person that drinks, either bring your own shit or even better, bring some to share with everyone.
Yeah. And even more better, if you bring something, leave it for that person.
Number 2, respect people's privacy. Some parties get really wild and crazy. People may do things that they wouldn't regularly do, but they'll do it because they think they're in a private space.
And they think they're safe because
Yeah.
they're with people that they know.
They think they're safe, i.e., grinding and dancing nasty on people.
Yeah, I would never do that in a known situation.
Making out with people, twerking, shaking your ass, whatever. Don't freaking film them. I've seen a certain person, I just want to call you out right now, but I'm going to spare you. But a certain person from Chicago, I'm going to say that much, a con-goer in Chicago who frequents room parties, loves to expose people. He will show up at any room party he can and say, for example, if there's a girl like twerking and shaking her ass on the kitchen table, just having a great time. She ain't hurting nobody. She's shaking her titties and ass. Cool. This dude will film her for like 2-3 minutes straight of her. Like, he gets so up close that he might as well just film her vagina flap.
And that's not cool.
Like, that's not cool, dude.
You know, this is an intimate party. This is not an open door policy. This is something where
Exactly.
someone feels safe and comfortable around the people that are there.
And he's done that multiple times. Like, bro, stop filming people. Let people have their moment. It's like what they say, what happens at a con stays at a con. Like,
Right.
let these people have it, because one day that could be you exposed on camera. Wouldn't you feel stupid if someone filmed you getting drunk and pissing all over yourself and falling in a bush?
Yeah.
That has happened to someone I know, so that's why I'm saying that.
But it's all in good fun when you're with people that
Exactly.
you
Yeah,
know.
You're with people that you think you trust, and then some rando like this dude from Chicago that likes to film people at parties and exposing them. If it's a private party, before you invite 1 million people or posting it publicly online, ask the host, is it cool if I invite some friends? I've seen that before too. I go to a party that's supposed to be just us close friends.
Right.
And then one jackass ruins it for everyone. He puts it online. Hey, show up at room 246, party.
And then everybody that you don't know shows up.
Yep. And then you have to be like, who the hell are you? Who are you? Who are you? And then more people just keep coming because people like to tell people about parties.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other end of the same thing, when someone tells you about a random room party, do your fact checks. Be like, whose party is it? And are you sure we can go? I've had people that invited me to parties. I've shown up thinking my friend wouldn't just tell me some dumb shit.
Yeah.
I show up and the host is like, wait, who the frick are you guys?
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like a jackass showing up at this party and getting kicked out.
Yeah.
Or showing up at this party and then the host doesn't realize it till later.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets upset because I was at one party and the guy that booked the room was out on the con or whatever. He came back like an hour after I'd been to that party. And he's like, wait. Who the hell are all you guys? If you're not staying here, get the hell out right now.
Right.
And then we're like, but this person invited me. And he's like, who the hell's that person?
On that note, another thing that I think is a special etiquette for this is if you're rooming with a bunch of people, like say there's like 4, 5, or 6 people to the room,
Uh-huh.
and you miraculously decide that you want to have a party in said room, not telling anybody else that's staying with you that you're having this so-called party, and they have all their valuables out in the open. You just have no respect for your roommates, and everything is just out there for anybody to take or sit on or
Yep.
break. And you need to tell people when you're going to do this. Like you with the expensive camera gear, you have things that cost more than...
That con.
Yeah. You can't just have people over. Even if it's not like an official party, you don't want a whole bunch of randos in your room.
Yeah. Let your roommates know if you're having at least one person over. It doesn't matter if it's a group. If 1, 2 people, let someone know.
Because you don't know that person.
Exactly.
Even if your friend knows that person, they can vouch for them, but you still can have the opportunity to put your stuff away or to do something different just so there's no mishap.
All this talk about room party etiquette just brought up a story. So real quick, this was one of these random invite parties where somebody invited someone who invited someone else. Well, I was at someone else at the end of this chain, right? I show up at this party. It was already popping. It was in a super big suite. Okay, cool. There's enough space for everybody, right? People were super generous with their alcohol. I'm like, cool. This is a nice vibe. People sharing alcohol. There's a bar area. They got a little bartender. You want a drink? He'll make it for you. I'm like, cool. Couple dudes started busting out weed. I'm like, well, weed's very mild.
Yeah.
It's
Weed's not really a drug to me.
yeah, like a lot of states, weed's being legalized now, so it's not a big deal. Next thing I know, this dude's like busts out lines of coke. He's like, "Hey, y'all want some coke?" I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! What are we doing here?"
Oh no!
That dude busts out coke. Then another dude looks over. He's like, "Oh, y'all want some heroin?" I'm like, holy shit! Like
Heroin?
when did cosplayers and congoers start busting out old people drugs?
Wow!
Yeah.
Wow!
I'm like, did I just walk into a Scarface party? Since when did congoers start doing these old people drugs?
I don't know.
Like, how do they even know about that shit?
How do they know about heroin? Like, it's so involved.
Yeah, like you gotta cook it up. You gotta get needles. Like, I don't even know where you get needles except when you go to the hospital.
Either.
Exactly.
I mean, I guess you can Amazon Prime it.
Yeah, I guess so now. But
Well, I hope you didn't do any of that shit.
coke ain't cheap.
Those are rich people drugs on top
exactly.
of that. Old people drugs on top of rich people drugs.
Yes. Cosplayers can't even afford to eat. Like, how did you get these high-end drugs?
Conventions and anime are my anti-drug because I can't afford to do anything else with my life.
Right? How are you going to ruin your anti-drug with drugs? Let's talk about the final category of room parties. The sketchy, scary room party situations. I show up at this party like at least 6 people deep.
Uh-huh.
It was me, Shana, my best friend from the previous story, the crazy guy with the killer look in his eye, his girlfriend, one of my friends, and my other friend. So those 6 of us. This party was being hosted by people that I've partied with before. They had not only one suite, but 2 conjoining suites. Conjoining rooms, for those who don't know, is when you go to a hotel, sometimes you can book 2 rooms right next to each other, and there's a door that divides both rooms. So you can open that door and make it one big suite.
Yeah.
They had music, they had a bartender, they had liquor, everything was free. All of us were like, yo, this party's pretty dope.
Mm-hmm.
At the time we went, there was only a handful of people. It was very dimly lit just to set a party vibe. That's what we saw at the moment. This is what we learned after the fact. We didn't know none of this was going on while we were actually there. It was dimly lit for a reason. When you looked in the far corners of the room, like say the chair in the corner, there was a guy and a girl in that chair pretty much just humping in public.
Yeah.
In another corner, the same thing. What was the second room, Shauna?
The second room, I kind of found out for myself. The whole party was kind of sparse. Like there was people in and out, but there was not a lot of people actually in the room at the time.
Uh-huh.
The second room, I noticed it was completely empty. I saw people going in and out of it, but by the time I found it, it was completely empty. So I went in there because I was already like tipsy. I was already in my own mind. So I just went in this room to recollect myself and woo-saw myself into like a better mindset. And I noticed random dudes kept coming into the room and talking to me all like seductively.
Uh-huh.
And like, first of all, I don't know who you are.
Yep.
Second of all, I'm just in here chilling. I'm not doing nothing. Like, I'm not looking for anything. I didn't say anything. So these guys, I just noticed that they were coming onto me. And then after I told them to like leave me alone, is when one of them, at some point after I told like a bunch of them to leave me alone, one of them told me like, you do know this is the smush room, right? And smush meaning sex.
The sex room. Ooh.
Yeah. And I'm like,
Explains why there wasn't very many people in there.
yeah. So I just found a place that wasn't crawling with people just to chill. But this guy was like, no, this is the sex room. Like, if you come in this room, it's fair game. I'm like, fair game?
Whoa.
What?
Whoa.
What? Didn't explain the rules of this room party, because I've never been to a room party where they had room
Yeah.
for a sex room
Yep,
and
yep.
for the party.
Uh-huh.
Besides all of that, I would not be down for that shit. And when it came down to it, I'm just like, you know what? I understand what this room is now. I'm going to leave.
That's just one of the notes we want to make up on this party. Keep all that in mind. All right, so let's backtrack. I didn't hear any of this till after the fact, all right? Quick side note, we about to Quentin Tarantino this shit. I'm about to tell you multiple stories at once that all fit into one storyline, all right? The first two friends leave. They tell me after the fact they felt uncomfortable because they were the ones that noticed people humping in the dark corners. People making out, grinding on each other. I was already kind of lit, so I didn't notice that because it was super dark. So then my best friend and his girlfriend, their gripe was with the bartender. He kept trying to offer them his jungle juice, his convention brew, and he kept insisting, oh, you guys got to try this. You guys got to try this special drink I made. Luckily, my best friend and his girl were beer drinkers, so they didn't really feel comfortable with even drinking liquor,
Right.
especially someone's custom liquor.
Right.
They were like, this dude's way too, like, pushy about drinking his special jungle juice. And like, no, we're good. We're good. We brought our own beers. We're good. Throughout the night, they were there for a good 2 hours. He kept pressuring them to drink this shit. They finally were done with the party. They was just trying to go back to the room and have sex because those two lived apart at the time. So I get it. They came to me and they was like, yo, are you good? I don't want to leave you alone.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, dude, I'm good. I partied with these people before. We cool. So they're like, all right, we're going to go. All right. They leave and go back to the room. As they're leaving, the bartender went out of his way, followed them to the lobby with 2 cups of his jungle juice. Oh, take one for the road. And that's when my best friend was like, what the hell is your problem? We said no. Leave us alone.
Yeah.
Again, I didn't hear this till after the fact, but that's sketchy in itself. Why would a bartender follow you all the way to the lobby? This party was in one of the presidential suites, or the big suites in the top floor. So he had to go all the way to the bottom to follow these guys. Anyways, those two leave.
And then after his friend had left, I'm like, okay, whatever, it's cool. Because to me, like, the party just seemed fine. Like, it was, besides the whole sex room thing, because I didn't know about it, I'm like, I just passed it off as something like, maybe that's just a room party thing that I just didn't know about.
Yeah.
So I didn't think anything of it. I'm just going on with the party. I was already kind of tipsy before I got to this party, so I didn't really drink anything that was offered at this party. But I did take a sip of something that they offered me, one of the bartenders that was there. I just remember they put this jungle juice drink in this liter juice jug kind of container thing, and it was purple. You know what? It's purple. I love purple. I took a sip of it, but they gave me a whole cup of this thing, and I put the cup down somewhere in the party. I just took a sip to put the cup down and did my own thing after that. I just remember going to one of the closets after the whole sex room thing and just kind of hiding in there because I noticed a lot of the people there were trying to offer me this the entire night, and this is the first time that I've ever encountered this kind of thing where I'm at a room party and they notice me not drinking. They notice that I don't have a drink in my hand.
Yep.
And they kept coming to me, trying to give me cups, trying to give me things. I'm like, no, I don't do that because of the simple fact that anyone could roofie this shit.
Yeah.
Like, I would never know. That's why I hid in the closet. Because I was still trying to like recollect myself. Because that's
Yeah.
what the main reason why I went to
Yeah,
that sex
yeah.
room in the first place. I was just trying to like get better, drink water, just trying to like meditate myself back into the party mode. And then I came out of the closet and people were looking for me and they're like, where's this girl? Why is she not drinking? And I remember hearing that in the background, but then I peeked out of the closet and then I saw you. I saw you talking to one of the hosts of the party, and you were kind of teetering in the doorway between the sex room and the main party room. And this person, I just noticed that she had her hand on the wall like this and trying to like get you to not like go back into the party room.
Okay, pause. Let me tell my perspective of that. I'm in the other room chilling. They offered me this drink. I had already been drinking. So finally I was like, you know what? Whatever. You know, I've partied with these people. So I drank a cup of that special drink that we're making, not even thinking anything of it. That was the beginning of the end. As I was drinking that, I was like, wait, where's Shana? I've noticed she's been missing for a while. I try to make my way to the other room. I'm like, maybe she's in here. And then this girl puts her arm on the door, like blocking my path, mind you. Like, where are you going?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're fine right here. Shauna's fine in the other room. She's fine. Everything's fine. I'm like, wait. I just need to see for myself. I haven't seen her for a minute.
Yeah.
While I'm sitting there being blocked, she's distracting me. Next thing I know, sexual favors are being offered. Like, well, if you stay here, I'll suck your dick right now.
Oh.
I was like, whoa, what kind of party is this? And if that wasn't enough, this guy pops in the door. He's like, oh, Renji, I've been following you for years. I'll suck your dick too. We'll both suck your dick right now. Then she's like, oh, yeah. She's like, oh, you can tag team us both or just have us both suck your dick. It's whatever you want. As she's holding her arm in the door and as this dude's like looking up and down, I'm sitting there like, wow. Wow. I've never had anybody just offer to randomly suck my dick at a party. But now there's two people? One guy, one girl? I was like, wow. I was like, damn, y'all think I'm sexy? No, I didn't think that. But it was creepy and yet flattering. But more creepy than flattering.
And I'm noticing, like, when this is happening, this is when I'm peeking out of the closet and I see him talking to these people, and I notice that they're the host of the party. So I'm like, oh, they're good. They're whatever. Like, I don't hear what they're saying, but I see them talking to each other. So me in my state, I'm getting better. I'm feeling more clear-headed. I'm fine. So I get out of the closet. And then I get a text from one of my best friends who don't go to conventions ever. But she, for some reason, was there at this convention, and I had seen her earlier at the convention, but I didn't think she stayed the entire time because she was kind of like doing her own thing. So I'm like, you're good. So then she texted me and was like, you know, I'm downstairs. You know, come get me. I'm looking for a party. I'm already lit. I'm already this. And I'm like, okay. So I invite her up to the party that we were at. I go downstairs, I leave, I see that you're okay, and I leave, and I go get my friend, and I bring her up to the party. I'm like, you know, if you want to chill, you can get some drinks. This is a cool party. It's chill. It's great. So I bring her up to this party, but then shortly after I bring her up, she's already, I didn't know how lit she was. So she was already in her own thing. She's like, you know what? I don't want to be here anymore. I kind of just want to go. I want to go. I'm like, go where? So then, again, I look over at you. I'm like, I got this crazy girl with me. She wants to do her thing. She wants to fly like a butterfly. So I look over at you, and you're still talking to the host of the party. To me, you looked okay. To me, at the time, because I didn't hear what you said, and I didn't really see any red flags. So then I came up to you, and I was like, hey, you know, my friend just got here. I know I just left and came back and brought her here, but she needs to leave because I can see how messed up she was at the time. So I'm like, you know what? I'll be right back. I see that you're good, so I'll be right back. And I even talked to you. And you seemed fine.
And side note, at the time, I just started drinking at cons. Like for years, I never drank at cons. Like I've never gotten super drunk and passed out or anything. I've been very responsible. I usually always bring my own alcohol to parties.
So then I leave the party to go take my friend, thinking that somebody was downstairs to take her home safely. But no, she was trying to meet up with an ex boyfriend of hers. She was about to get into the car with this person. And I already knew their history and whatever, not to get into it. But I had known a little bit about their situation. So I was trying to protect her. I might have been out there for a good 45 minutes trying to persuade her not to get into this car with this random person. So then eventually I do come back up to the room, but we'll get back up to that. So tell me what's going on during this time.
Okay, so at this point, I'm sitting there drinking this drink, doing what I usually don't do. I usually don't drink anything anyone hands me. For some reason, I completely trusted these people. I don't even know how long Shana was gone at the time. I'm starting to black out and not remember things. I remember talking at the doorway. I remember wondering, where's Shana? It's been a long time since I've seen her. I'm in the doorway of both rooms. I'm peeking around like, Shana's still here? I black out. I come to. And next thing I know, Shauna's right next to me. As Shana said, that was the sex room. She finally came and told me, like, hey, these dudes are being all creepy. They keep pushing up on me. And I'm just still sitting here dazed and confused. Like, wait, what? I black out again. I come to. I'm in the bathroom just trying to force myself to puke.
So while I notice Renji in the bathroom, I hear police pounding on the door trying to break up the party. And I'm like trying to like rush you out of the bathroom because I don't know what's going on. I'm like, dude, there's something going on. You need to hurry up.
In the bathroom, I blacked out again. Next thing I know, there's police breaking up the party.
Yeah.
Shana has me on her shoulder like I'm some wounded soldier, and she's carrying me out. She's taking me all the way outside the party. We in the lobby, and then my best friend is there. He's got me on his arm. So him and Shana just got me, and I'm just like, what's going on, guys? I blacked out in that whole process of leaving the room, and I came back to in the lobby. Blacked out again. I noticed I'm on the streets puking.
Me and his best friend are trying to get him to the car because he's still trying to puke on the street on the way to the car, but we just can't get him to the car fast enough. So we finally make our way to the hotel parking lot, and his best friend, he's just being a dick and saying, follow the sound of my voice, and trying to get him to go to the car and trying to get him into the car and get him home safely because I was the only one well enough to drive. So we were trying to put him in the car.
So they get me in the car and I black out, and then we finally get back to our hotel. I didn't know this until the next day. And then my friend's like, yeah, I messed with you because you ruined my night with my girl. I'm like, sorry that I was kind of gone and out of my mind. After talking to Shana, him, and everyone else, we kind of came to the conclusion that they drugged me. They roofied me. It took us solving the Quentin Tarantino storyline to come to that conclusion. As I said earlier, I don't get drunk and stupid to where I black out not knowing what's going on. Shauna's never had to carry me out of anywhere.
And just the fact that he had to wake up and realize that he didn't know what was going on or what had gone on the entire time. Because me, when I was at the party and looking at him at the time, like, he didn't seem like anything was wrong. He just seemed normal to me. So when he woke up the next morning not knowing what had happened the entire night, it was a whole different ordeal. It was like, wait a minute, you don't know what happened? Because he was asking me a whole bunch of questions like, what happened? Because he thought the entire night had gone a different way, but that wasn't even the case. And I had to explain it to him, and his friend had to explain it to him because his friend had seen him at the same time. So it was just, we connected all the dots together and was like, if you don't remember this, then that means you could have been drugged.
We had to call every single person that was with us and collect everyone's data. We were writing down times of when we noticed this and that, and we had to put the pieces together. It was so bad that I was pretty much gone for most of the next day. Shana went out of her way to go through my phone, find my work number, and call in for me.
Yeah.
I didn't even go to work that Monday.
Because he was still messed up.
Yeah, I was messed up all Sunday.
Yeah, because you hadn't even woken up that
Mhm.
day. So, like, I had to figure out who his boss was and text that person and say, like, hey, Renji's not doing so well. Maybe he needs to, like, sit out for this one because he had a rough weekend.
Yeah, and people that know me know that I'm a morning person.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I could be up till the end of the night, and I'll still be up by 8, 9 in the morning.
And then on top of that, like, you're a very respectable, you're on time kind of punctual kind of person. So if you're not there anywhere on time, somebody's going to be asking questions and looking for you.
Yo, and that was such a scary moment to be like, wow, I've partied with these people before, but somebody, I still don't know who to this day, decided to drug me. Not just drug me, but attempt to drug all of us.
It was because, like, thinking about it later on, the people that you were talking to, they seemed fishy after you had told me what they were actually saying to you.
Yeah.
And they just seemed fishy, so they had to have known what was going on.
Oh, yeah.
They had to have known what was in that drink, and that's why they kept pressuring us to drink it.
Oh, yeah. To host some party that has a sex room, like, that's some Charles Manson cult shit.
Because, like I said, what I remember about that drink, it was in this, like, juice jug, this juice, like, liter thing, this jug, and it wasn't in an open container. It wasn't in something that someone had freshly made.
Yeah.
It was something that someone poured into a cup. So that's a big important thing.
Oh, yeah.
Don't ever do that. I was lucky to only take a sip of it, but don't ever take a drink of something that was just sitting around in a cup or in a jug or whatever it is.
Yeah, don't
Never
be
do that.
drinking no jungle juice that you didn't see getting made by itself. But even that, if it's been made and it's been sitting there, you don't know when some jackass is going to come and spike it with some extra stuff.
Unless it's someone you, like your family,
Yeah.
you're at a family cookout, they make jungle juice, whatever. But I'm saying these conventions, these public settings, never drink something that's just been sitting there.
Yeah.
You never know.
Exactly. And sometimes this jungle juice be nasty anyway.
Yeah.
Like they'll make it like Thursday night and it'll be the same shit all weekend and they'll just keep pouring more stuff in there. Like, you don't know by Saturday if someone didn't get drunk and piss in that bowl.
Unless it's your friends and it's like a close thing.
Unless
Don't do that.
you really, really know them. But
Yeah.
some people be making jungle juice in like coolers.
Yeah.
Like I said, you don't know who's been sticking their mouth in that bowl. Like,
And that's another thing. I don't ever chase anything that someone else put their mouth on.
yeah, like I usually don't even drink people's mixed drinks anyway. Like, I'll take liquor straight out the bottle from friends.
It was a really crappy situation.
Yep, it was. And that was the first and only time I've got roofied, aka drugged at a party, and I've learned so many lessons and I'm never doing it again.
And that's the only time you drank something that wasn't yours.
Exactly. And yeah, that is true. So learn from my mistake from trusting people.
Yeah.
Giving them the benefit of the doubt, right? Even if it wasn't the host, the bartender, it could have just been some random person who thinks it's funny.
Yeah.
Because I'm not the only one that I know of that's been roofied. I have friends that have been roofied at parties just because people think it's funny to see someone get all messed up. I had a friend who got roofied and ended up in the bushes. His friends admitted that they roofied him on purpose just because they wanted to see him get all stupid.
Like we said earlier, don't go to these parties that you don't know who's throwing it, whatever. But it's hard to determine like who you should trust and who you shouldn't, because just because you've spoken to someone before, just because you've been in certain situations with people before, you don't know how they are when they're drunk or when they're at a party. So there's really no information I can give you to be cautious about those kind of things. Like specifically, all I can say is just be careful who you surround yourself with. Don't be too trusting about everybody, because I had seen these people that hosted that party.
Yeah.
You had been around those people that have hosted that party.
Yeah.
That hosted that party, and you knew who they were on the surface, but you had never done anything like intimate with them,
Yeah.
like any kind of intimate situation. No, like one-on-one. No, they were nice to you, but they weren't like 100%. Like you didn't know them in that way.
Yeah.
So that's what's kind of hard to say, because even though you're making friends with these people, you can't be too open with a lot of people because of these kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
And just with that alone, it's like I don't know how to completely say how to be safe at a party, how to be safe at a convention, because you make these friends, you talk to these people, they seem cool, but then they turn on you, and it's just something that you can't always look for.
Yeah. With that said, I think all you can do is make sure you're not alone.
Yeah.
I would have been in a terrible situation if I went there by myself.
Yeah.
Because my friends left in segments and then Shana stayed until I was ready to go too. Like, buddy system.
Buddy system.
Have someone go with you.
Yeah.
Make a pact that y'all go together, y'all leave together.
And you can't trust everybody just because of you talk to them or whatever. You just can't completely trust everybody. And that's what I tell you all the time, because you travel all the time, you do these things all the time. And at the very end of the day, I just want you to be safe. And I want everyone to be safe out here.
After that incident, I don't go to any room parties by myself. Even after hours, I try not to do anything by myself.
Mm-hmm.
It's like...
But when you're drinking and you're having a good time and you're in the mood...
Oh, yeah, but like...
things get misconstrued. And then...
But like, even with that, like... I kept that in mind too. Like this past YomaCon last year, I had a quick meeting with my roommates, and I told them, don't let me go anywhere alone after dark, especially if I've been drinking. And they were cool enough to be with me every step of the way. Even if I'm going to the rave to shoot press video, somebody come with me.
Yeah.
And they were cool enough to do that. As Shana was saying, yeah, things happen, you get drunk and you forget what's going on, but you can still take some preventative measures like talking to your roommates. And most of them will be cool enough to be like, all right, I'll go with you or whatever, you know? So like, know your limits. Be honest with yourself. I know I drink at cons and sometimes I'll party too hard. So I gave them the disclaimer and they looked out for me.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some things you can do, but yeah, you can't prevent everything, but at least you can cover yourself. But anyways, not to totally scare you guys from going to room parties or anything.
Just be careful.
Shauna and I just want to be completely honest with you guys of what happens in these con worlds. Cosplay, convention personalities want to front like everything's all happy and all fun and games and unicorns and rainbows, but it's not. Yes, there's scary things that happen at con parties, but then there's a lot of good things that happen too. So just take everything we say and balance it out. You know, there's ways to be safe. There's ways to still enjoy this part of the convention life that a lot of people don't enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely an experience that you shouldn't deprive yourself of from cons, but you still need to be careful like anything else at cons now. So yeah, those are just a few things about room parties that we've experienced. Hope you guys have learned something.
The good, the bad, the ugly.
Hope you guys will take time to enjoy a room party. So with that said, thank you for tuning into this week's episode of the Shinobi Squad Podcast. I'm Avatar Aang. She
that threw me off. I'm like, I'm the Shinobi Squad.
Wait, what?
I'm Shana Mostella. Thanks for listening.
Make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure you tell a friend. If you ain't got time to watch the YouTube videos, just download the audio version of the podcast. Link will be below. Or we're on iTunes, Spotify, and wherever you find your favorite podcast. So we getting official. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys next week.
Stay safe.